the sacred realm of Avatamsaka, radiating boundless splendor. The 10 great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva are like a refreshing drizzle, cleansing the hearts of sentient beings and guiding countless practitioners onto the Bodhi path. However, the seemingly perfect Dharma gate leaves a thought-provoking void when one carefully studies the Avatamsaka Sutra. Why did Samantabhadra Bodhisattva leave this blank space? Was it an inadvertent oversight or intentional? What kind of meditative wisdom is concealed behind it? This blank space may precisely be the blind spot in the concise teachings of Mahayana Buddhism. The Buddha once said to Venerable Ananda that some dharma are like bright lamps that need to be lit for others to see, illuminating the path ahead. Other dharma are like moonlight that only points the way but cannot be directly experienced. One must personally realize them. Among the 10 great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, could the missing vow be precisely such a moonlight-like presence? It cannot be fully expressed in words, but can only gradually reveal its true nature through practice and realization. In the Avatamsaka Sutra, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva expounds the 10 great vows with boundless compassion and wisdom. 1. Reverence to all Buddhas. 2. Praise of the Tathagata. 3. Extensive accumulation of merit. 4. Repentance of karmic obstacles. 5. Rejoicing in the merits of others. 6. Requesting the turning of the Dharma wheel. 7. Requesting the Buddha to protect the world. 8. Always following the Buddha's teachings. 9. Habitually harmonizing with all sentient beings. 10. Universally dedicating all merits. These 10 great vows are like 10 bright lamps illuminating the path of practitioners, regarded as crucial principles for achieving the path of merit and liberation. However, when we delve deeply into these 10 great vows, we find that there seems to be a missing crucial link, a bridge connecting the constant harmonious well-being of all sentient beings and a widespread practice of dedicating merit. What exactly is missing here? Why did Samantabhadra Bodhisattva leave this blank space? What is the significance of this blank? Let us turn our gaze toward the Tang dynasty in eastern China during the Xuanzang era. Outside the city of Chang'an, within the Qinglong Temple, a young monk devoted himself day and night to studying the Buddhist scriptures. He would later become the renowned Tang Xuanzang. Master Xuanzang held a deep affection for the Avatamsaka Sutra. He repeatedly recited it and pondered its teachings profoundly, striving to comprehend its profound meanings. One day, Master Xuanzang was reciting the 10 great vows of Samantabhadra. Elder Zhiguang walked slowly, quietly listening to Master Xuanzang's chanting. After completing the sutra recitation, Master Xuanzang respectfully sought guidance from Elder Zhiguang. Venerable Elder, the disciple has studied the 10 great aspirations of Samantabhadra for many years and always feels that something seems to be missing. The disciple is slow-witted and has never been able to understand clearly whether there is an unspoken vow among them. A glimmer of approval flashed in Elder Zhiguang's eyes. He slightly wiped his hands and said, "Xuanzang, your wisdom is indeed profound, able to perceive the subtleties within." Indeed, the 10 great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva appear complete on the surface. But in reality, the Bodhisattva intentionally left gaps, waiting for those with true wisdom to discover and fill them. Upon hearing this, Master Xuanzang asked with even greater reverence, "Venerable Elder, please kindly enlighten me. Your disciple is eager to hear the details." Elder Zhiguang did not answer directly, but spoke slowly. "Let me tell you a story. Perhaps you will find inspiration within it. Long ago, there was a practitioner named Shanming who diligently cultivated the great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva with unwavering perseverance. However, he always felt that his practice was stagnant and he could not break through the bottleneck. He pondered endlessly without finding an answer, so he decided to journey to Mount Wutai to seek guidance. On Mount Wutai, he met an elderly practitioner whose Dharma name was Minkong. With reverence, Xuanming respectfully asks the venerable elder Mingkong, "Master, I have practiced Samantabhadra Bodhisattva's teachings for many years and consider myself diligent, yet I always feel something is missing and cannot truly penetrate the Dharma. Why is this so?" The venerable practitioner Mingkong did not answer directly, but instead asked in return, "Which courtyard in Puxian Temple do you think is the most difficult to practice in?" After a moment of contemplation, Xuanming replied, "I believe the ninth courtyard, constantly benefiting all beings, is the most challenging. Faced with a diverse array of sentient beings, their needs vary and often conflict with one another." Mingkong Baoxiu, the practitioner, smiled faintly and continued to ask, "In your view, between the constant accord with sentient beings and the universal dedication of merits, is there a transitional stage needed? Is there a specific ability or mindset required that allows us to truly remain in harmony with all sentient beings without being troubled by their afflictions, so that only then can we genuinely dedicate the merits to all beings?" The wise and eloquent words are like a draught of pure ghee poured over the crown, suddenly illuminating the mind with great awakening. What the Venerable Master said is absolutely right. The disciple understands. Between consistently harmonizing with sentient beings and the universal dedication of merit by Samantabhadra, it indeed requires a certain ability or mindset that allows us to transcend our own limitations and attachments. Only then can we truly harmonize with sentient beings consistently and genuinely practice the universal dedication of merit. The venerable practitioner Mingkong looked kindly at the virtuous people and said, "Samantabhadra Bodhisattva left this blank space precisely so that practitioners could discover it themselves and fill it. This emptiness is not an omission, but wisdom. It is the compassion of the Bodhisattva. It is the skillful means of the Bodhisattva." Elder Zhiguang said to Master Xuanzang, "Xuanzang, you should practice the great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, especially the ninth vow of always harmonizing with all beings. When you encounter difficulties and conflicts in your practice, when you feel confused and lost, the meaning of that emptiness will gradually become apparent." Many years later, Master Xuanzang saw an elderly woman struggling down the streets of Chang'an, carrying a heavy load. Moved with compassion, he wished to step forward and assist her. However, the elderly woman kindly refused, saying, "Master, I am grateful for your kindness, but this is my own karma. I must bear it myself." Master Xuanzang firmly said, "The Bodhisattva teaches us to always be kind and accommodating to all sentient beings, helping them to relieve their suffering. Let me help you carry the burden." The elderly woman shook her head and said, "Young monk, you say one should always be harmonious with all beings, but do you truly understand what true harmony is? Sometimes complying with surface demands actually goes against the genuine needs of the heart. Complying with my refusal and bearing the karma myself may truly be the genuine practice of steadfastness." Master Xuanzang's classical text was like a thunderbolt strike, causing a profound shock within his heart. He began to reconsider what it truly means to consistently accord with sentient beings, whether it is to satisfy their superficial needs or to respond to their genuine inner requirements, whether it is to help them escape karma or to guide them to embrace karma and ultimately transcend it. Once again, a wealthy merchant came to visit Master Xuanzang, requesting him to perform liberation rites for the royal residents and promising to donate a substantial amount of wealth as a sign of devotion. Master Xuanzang carefully observed his father's expression and realized that he was not sincerely devoted to Buddhism. He merely sought to exchange wealth for peace of mind, hoping to alleviate inner guilt. He recalled what Elder Zhiguang said about that blankness and realized that constantly accommodating sentient beings does not mean blindly complying with all their demands. The Dharma is boundless. The Dharma is boundless. This episode complies with a wealthy merchant's wish to conduct a memorial service for the prince, does not contravene the true meaning of the Dharma, and also helps the merchant plant wholesome roots, guiding him toward the righteous path. The sun and moon pass like a shuttle. Time swiftly flows, and Master Xuanzang's practice gradually deepens, his understanding of the Dharma becoming increasingly profound. One day, he traveled to a small town and encountered a weeping young maiden. Desperately in need of good medicine, but without the money to buy it, death seems imminent. Master Xuanzang possessed nothing of material value. Carrying only the monk's robe he wore, the alms bowl in his hand, and some food and silver offerings from his devotees. In accordance with the persistent compassionate vow for sentient beings, Master Xuanzang should strive to assist this poor young girl. However, if all the food and money are entrusted to the nuns, one will have nothing to sustain oneself. If only a portion is given, it will be difficult to meet the urgent needs of the nuns. Master Xuanzang was filled with hesitation and uncertainty, not knowing what course of action to take. He suddenly recalled the old master's words, "What is true constant compliance?" He closed his eyes and pondered for a moment, and his mind gradually became clear. Master Xuanzang entrusted all the food and the money offered by the devotees to the young girl, saying, "These may temporarily ease your difficulties. Go and save your father." The young girl, tears of gratitude streaming down her face, knelt on the ground and said, "Master, your kindness is boundless. How can I ever repay you?" Master Xuanzang smiled and replied, "There is no need for repayment. Just remember, when you are able, to help others in the same way and pass on this love." After the young girl left, a wealthy merchant emerged from the nearby tea shrine. He looked at Master Xuanzang and asked, "Master, you are so generous with your donations, but how will you manage to eat today?" Master Xuanzang calmly replied, "The Buddha teaches us to offer food without seeking anything in return, not to cling to the giver, the receiver, or the gift itself. I merely follow the course of karma, doing my best to aid those in need." A wealthy merchant was deeply moved by Master Xuanzang's words and actions, and invited him to his home to offer support. During the gathering, a wealthy merchant asked Master Xuanzang, "Master, I have long practiced kindness and generosity, aiding the poor, yet why do I never feel inner peace? Instead, I often feel anxious and unsettled." Master Xuanzang replied, "Have you considered whether, when you practice kindness and generosity, you expect something in return? Do you cling to the thought of, I, while doing good deeds? Do you treat your acts of charity as a transaction, a means to gain blessings?" The merchant felt as if enlightened by a sudden revelation and realized, "So that is the truth. I always calculate how much I have given and expect how much merit I should receive, constantly worrying that my virtuous deeds have not been properly rewarded. No wonder my mind has never found peace." This experience made Master Xuanzang understand more clearly that, more importantly, it is to help sentient beings free themselves from attachments and guide them toward the path of liberation. To achieve this, the practitioner must first relinquish attachment, neither burdened by good deeds nor relying on merits. Many years later, Master Xuanzang returned to Qinglong Temple and sought teachings from Elder Zhiguang. "Venerable Elder, over the years I have pondered that void. Through Master Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, the great Vow King, I feel that it may be but a form of wisdom, a transformative capacity, and a mind of equanimity. However, the disciple remains uncertain whether his understanding is correct and respectfully requests the elder's guidance." Elder Zhiguang asked, "Xuanzang, when you practice the great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, what is the greatest obstacle?" Master Xuanzang responded without hesitation, "The greatest obstacle is attachment to the self. When I try to benefit sentient beings, I'm often limited by my own judgments and unable to truly understand their needs. When I wish to universally dedicate merits, I am often disturbed by thoughts of the benefits, making it difficult to truly perform selfless dedication." Venerable Zhiguang continued to ask, "Then, between constantly benefiting sentient beings and universally dedicating merit, what is needed to overcome this obstacle? What is needed to transcend the limitations of the self?" Master Xuanzang's classical writings are like a refreshing shower of nectar, leading to complete realization. It is about letting go of the attachment to self and discriminative thinking. Only by relinquishing the self can one truly harmonize with all sentient beings. Only by abandoning attachment to merit can one genuinely dedicate and transfer merit universally. Elder Zhiguang looked approvingly at Master Xuanzang and said, "You have already touched the core of emptiness." Samantabhadra Bodhisattva deliberately left this blank to encourage practitioners to realize for themselves that between constantly accommodating sentient beings and universally dedicating merits, there must be a wisdom and practice of renunciation. Letting go is not merely a simple act of relinquishment. It is a profound wisdom of non-attachment to the self and freedom from clinging to merit. Only through renunciation can the great vow of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva be truly fulfilled, and only then can Bodhi be genuinely attained. Master Xuanzang suddenly realized, "Elder, I understand now. The 10 great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva may seem to be lacking one vow, but in reality, it intentionally guides us to discover and practice the unspoken 11th vow, the vow of renunciation." Exactly so, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva did not explicitly explain this relinquishing of vows because it cannot be conveyed through words. Rather, each practitioner must realize it through their own practice. Only when practitioners truly realize the wisdom of renunciation can the great vows of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva transform from mere formal perfection to substantial completeness. Elder Zhiguang continued, "Renunciation is not simply giving up. It is a middle way wisdom that transcends dualistic opposites. It is neither attachment nor passive renunciation, but a state of freedom and unobstruction founded on the understanding of the emptiness of dharmas." The practice of relinquishing desires is pervasive throughout the profound teachings of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, embracing all sentient beings with equality. When you praise the Tathagata, relinquish attachment to words and use your heart to truly feel the virtues of the Buddha. When you extensively practice offerings, you should relinquish the interest gained from wealth, maintain generosity without loss, and benefit all sentient beings. When you repent for your karmic offenses, you must relinquish attachment to the past, courageously take responsibility, and amend your ways. When cultivating merit, one must abandon jealousy, admire the achievements of others, and progress together. When you turn the Dharma wheel, you must relinquish arrogance, cultivate humility, and earnestly learn and accept the teachings. When holding the Buddha's prayer beads, one should relinquish dependence on the Buddha and rely on one's own strength, diligently practicing the Dharma. When you frequently engage in Buddhist studies, you should relinquish attachment to the Dharma, applying it flexibly according to principle, energy, and context. When you serve all sentient beings, you must let go of self-centeredness, understand the needs of beings, and assist them in liberating themselves from suffering. When you dedicate the merit, you must relinquish attachment to the merit itself and selflessly dedicate the merit to all sentient beings. Master Xuanzang exclaimed that giving is not an 11th vow separate from the 10 great vows, but rather the continuous wisdom of practice that runs through all the 10 great vows, serving as the key to their fulfillment. Indeed, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva did not explicitly state this renunciation vow because it is not an independent vow comparable to the other 10 vows. Rather, it is the wisdom that perfects the other 10 vows, enabling practitioners to truly enter into the Dharma. Master Xuanzang further inquired why Samantabhadra Bodhisattva chose to impart the wisdom of renunciation in such an obscure manner, rather than stating it explicitly. The wisdom of renunciation belongs to the latter. Since wisdom of renunciation is not a precise Buddhist term, it should be replaced with prajna wisdom or wisdom of renunciation. There are no typographical errors. The earnest intention of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva is precisely to inspire practitioners to realize, through the practice of Samantabhadra's great vows, the wisdom of renunciation when encountering conflicts and difficulties. Before Elder Zhiguang departed, he sincerely told Master Xuanzang, "Remember, true practice is not about how much you know, but how much you put into practice. Only by integrating the Dharma into daily life can one truly realize the essence of the Buddha's teachings." Many years later, Master Xuanzang journeyed westward in search of the Dharma, and upon his return brought back a vast collection of Buddhist scriptures, which he translated into Chinese, making a tremendous contribution to the development of Chinese Buddhism. In his translated scriptures, he placed special emphasis on the wisdom of prajna, making this once obscure concept clearer and more practical, thereby guiding future practitioners on their path. Venerable Master Xuanzang, during a retreat at a meditation monastery, earnestly prayed before Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, seeking the Bodhisattva's blessings and guidance. In the stillness, he seemed to hear Samantabhadra Bodhisattva himself offering guidance. "My 10 great vows appear as 10, but in truth, they are limitless and boundless. Because each vow encompasses countless skillful means of practice and contains boundless wisdom, there is a key element within it, which is renunciation. Only through renunciation can the 10 great vows transform from mere formal fulfillment to substantive completion." The Bodhisattva Tuxian explained that renunciation is not an independent vow, but the wisdom that enables the fulfillment of the other 10 vows. It is like the air, though invisible, it is everywhere, enabling all life to breathe. If I classify the renunciation as the 11th vow, it may lead practitioners to mistakenly believe that it is an independent vow parallel to the other 10 vows, rather than being the wisdom that pervades the 10 profound layers of history. Master Xuanzang, the Venerable, deeply comprehended this from then on, and many years later, he became the patriarch of the Huayan school, laying a solid foundation for the development of the Huayan tradition. When delivering sermons and expounding the Dharma, he often admonished his disciples that in practicing the Samantabhadra's vows, it is essential to deeply realize the true essence of the Sarira. Without the mind of renunciation, even daily recitations 1,000 times over like a castle in the air, ultimately unable to achieve the true fruit. For thousands of years, the transmission of this wisdom has never ceased. Since the Tang dynasty, successive generations of eminent monks and virtuous masters have promoted the profound efficacy of relics through their own practice and writings, providing invaluable guidance for future practitioners. Master Yongming Yinshou of the Song dynasty mentioned in the Zongjing Lu that the 10 great vows are like the wheels of a cart, and giving up is like the axle. Neither can be omitted. Master Zibai Zhunke of the Ming dynasty said, "When the 10 vows are practiced to the utmost, it all depends on a single act of renunciation." In modern society, this wisdom is particularly precious. We live in an era rife with material desires, where people are often troubled by external fame and wealth and bound by inner attachments. Whether it is the craving for wealth, the pursuit of fame, or the attachment to power, all serve as cages that prevent us from true freedom. Samantabhadra Bodhisattva's vow of renunciation beyond ignorance serves as the key to unlocking these prisons, allowing us to regain freedom and reclaim inner peace. Renunciation does not mean that we must abandon everything in the world and live as ascetics. Instead, we must possess things without being possessed by them, pursue goals without being bound by them, and give without attachment to reward. This is a wisdom of the middle way, neither attached to the world nor averse to it, both actively engaged in the world and transcendent beyond it. If we can practice this vow of relinquishment in daily life, whether facing the success or failure of our career, the coming together or parting of relationships, or the gains and losses in emotions, we can maintain a calm and free heart, unmoved by external circumstances and untroubled by inner afflictions. Perhaps this is exactly why Samantabhadra Bodhisattva left behind this blank figure, to guide us on the path of practice so that we not only know what to do, but also understand how to do it, thereby achieving true perfect freedom and accomplishing unsurpassed enlightenment.